Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Categorically Romance podcast. My name is Bree, and I am joined by a girl gang today. It is something that I've been wanting to do more on the podcast, and it is all Harlequin, Mills, and Boon Medical authors, y'all. So I am joined by, first and foremost, first to the podcast, author Deanne Anders is here. Welcome, Deanne.
Thank you.
Author Juliette Hyland is here. Welcome back, Juliette.
Hi, happy to be back.
Author Traci Douglas is back. Welcome back, Traci.
Hi, thanks for having me, Bree.
Thank you. And author Anne McIntosh, who is like who I was chatting with initially when this whole wonderful experience kind of came to be. So welcome back, Anne, and thank you. Between you and Juliette, thank y'all too for putting this together.
Thank you for having us.
Yes, we're so happy to be here.
Well, we're at the end of August as we're recording this, and you four have something really fun coming out. But for the three of you that I have not spoken to this year, Juliette, we'll start with you. Like, how's 2023 been for you?
You know, it has been a little bit crazy because I got a new job and my oldest started high school, which I'm very much not prepared for, but it's happening anyways. So it's just been, I blinked and somehow it's August and I'm ready to put up Halloween stuff now.
Same. Same. Well, congratulations on having a high schooler.
Thanks.
My oldest two are in 8th grade, and I'm like, I just hope this year drags by because I'm not ready for you all to be 9th graders. But yeah, it's going to happen. I know. Author Deanne Anders, tell us how your 2023 has been.
Busy. Like I was just telling the other girls, my hospital is moving to a brand new, I call it a 5-star Marriott hospital. We're an older hospital in Pensacola, and everything that it takes to move a whole hospital is amazing.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
work has been crazy, but exciting. And then I got my last child's getting married in 2 weeks, which is just, yeah, it's going to be in the Smoky Mountains, big party wedding. So I'm looking forward to that.
Congratulations. Yeah.
How exciting.
Traci, tell us how 2023 has been for you.
It's been super busy. Let's see, since I don't think I've been on the podcast since 2021. I think the last time I was on was the weekend that I adopted my dog.
Yes.
Yes. So Carly is here and she is doing great. Let's see, since then I have started a pen name. I'm indie publishing Romance. I'm also busy writing medicals, and I started a new job too last year. I'm an editor at Level 4 Press. So yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay. And Anne, you and I have chatted already this year, but since we've chatted last, how's your summer been going?
Oh, it's been actually very quiet. My hubby had knee surgery, so we've been just here. He's doing really, really well. I'm so proud of him. But there really hasn't been much going on. I was in Canada when I spoke to you last, seeing my kids and having a bit of a break. And since then I had my birthday. We partied like it was 1999. And then
you
everything
seem like such
came
the
to a
party
stop.
girl, Anne. You seem like such the party girl.
I have to admit I am.
I can attest.
Under the right circumstances, though. I'm one of those introverts who like stays at home, and then all of a sudden it's like, okay, where are we going?
Yeah. Well, you four are working. So y'all have a continuity coming out, and I love medical continuities. And one of the things that I think is just so special about the medical continuities is they tend to just come right out. Like y'all just give us all the books, like 2 a month. Sometimes like it feels like the whole like series is just coming out back to back. Like you don't make us wait. So, Juliette, will you share with us the whole premise of the continuity that y'all have coming out?
Sure. So our continuity is called the Boston Beacon Hospital continuity, and it's set in Boston, which is very fun. It's set in the month of Christmas, so everyone's stories are taking place right about from like the Thanksgiving time period right up until Christmas time. And Anne has book one, and that story has a nurse coming in from Hawaii and the head of pediatrics. And then my story has a heroine who is a dog therapy worker and a hero who has come to Boston. He's there for the first time. He moves around a lot. And then with Traci's story, we get a neurodiverse heroine, Callista, and she's like the baby of the unit. She's just out of med school. And then her hero has come in. He's a Traci, is he a cardiologist?
He's just a pediatrician.
He's a pediatrician.
Yeah.
At one point, I believe he was a cardiologist, but now he's a pediatrician. And they're helping out a young boy in their story, and then Deanne's story rounds us out with Ben, who is basically just your grumpy hero, and his ray of sunshine light that reminds him of Happily Ever After, Izzy, and that is a story with a one night with consequences. So it's all tied up together, and it was so much fun to do.
So how did so correct me if I'm wrong, but like the continuities is usually the editor. It's like their idea. How did you four come together as the team of authors that were going to like bring everything to life?
Well, it's not always editor-led, but this particular one was. We were given the Bible. They assigned all of us to our various storylines, and then we actually put together a group chat so that we could hash out all the different where the characters intersect, because very often these continuities take place over a period of time, and they don't overlap that much. But this particular one, all of them overlapped within that Christmas period that, as Juliette said, Thanksgiving to New Year's Eve kind of time frame. So you really have to kind of get together and figure out, okay, where do I put this other person into the book? Can we have them meeting somewhere or having dinner together or, whatever?
Okay. So Deanne, we'll start with you. Tell us like one of your favorite moments in your book. And can y'all share the titles, or is it too early to share titles?
Oh no, the titles are already...
They're already out there.
Decided,
okay.
Yes.
Okay. So Deanne, we'll start with you. Can you tell us the title of your book? So it's the fourth one in the series, and just tell us like a favorite moment, like in the book that you're excited for readers to read.
There's a lot of medical excitement and everything, but to be honest, the book is the surgeon's Christmas baby. So, Izzy knows about this baby a long time before Ben finds out about the baby. And she's kind of judging him about whether he's going to be the kind of parent she wants involved with her child, because he's lost a child and family and he's kind of isolated himself. But she draws him out, which is great. But to be honest, my favorite part is the fact that Izzy loves everything about Christmas, but she's a terrible cook. And she wants to make Christmas cookies. And she made them the last year, and she doesn't know it because they all disappeared, but actually Ben bought them all because everybody was complaining about the cookies, and he didn't want to hear it anymore. So when she starts talking about making these cookies, he has to find a way to keep her from making these cookies because he's afraid she's going to get her feelings hurt. So he decides to talk her into, no, come help me make cookies. We're going to make it from my mom's recipe. And then it ends up his mom's recipe is just like my chocolate chip cookies. It's on the back of your Toll House cookies package. So I just had a lot of fun with that.
You definitely did a spin. Like, I'm a huge Hallmark movie watcher, and there's always like a cookie making montage, and you definitely put like a fun spin on it.
Yeah. It was a lot of fun.
Somebody's like, no, why don't you come help me?
Yeah.
Right.
Don't cook.
Okay, so then Traci, your book 3, I guess we'll just go backwards. Tell us the name of your book and tell us one of your favorite moments in it.
Sure. The name of my book is Home Alone with the Children's Doctor. And as Juliette mentioned earlier, my heroine is adult diagnosed autism. And so she was recently diagnosed right before the book. So she's kind of dealing with that. And I will say up front, my book is kind of a non-traditional Christmas book. And so Callie really is not into the holidays at all. She's very introverted. She is not, she just doesn't get the whole Christmas thing. And so she was just looking forward to staying at home by herself and just chilling out on the couch with her cat. She has a black cat named Wednesday. And so she was she was just, thinking, oh, this is going to be great. She's a busy resident, so she never has any time off. And then all of a sudden the hero shows up on her doorstep because she shares the apartment in Boston with his younger sister, who is her best friend. And unbeknownst to her, her best friend, Jen, the hero's sister, says that he can stay in her room over the holidays. So it's a forced proximity, non-traditional kind of holiday romance. My favorite scene that I wrote is actually the grand gesture scene, and I'm not going to share that because I want you to.
Oh my gosh, I can't wait.
There is an earlier scene. I posted about this online, and readers got really excited about it. There's a sexy latke making scene in it because my hero is Jewish, so it's more of a Hanukkah story than Christmas. And there are no one was hurt during the making of the latkes. There was no oil accidents or anything, but it was just kind of a fun little sexy scene with that. So I'm really excited for people to read it because it's, like I said, it's non-traditional. It's got the whole Hanukkah thing in there, and it was just a really fun story to write. So
I'm excited. I feel like we need more of those. And I personally love when you have a character that's not really into Christmas.
Right. Well, and her journey, she kind of, because of her autism, she doesn't really, get a lot of the things that other people get as readily. And so part of her journey is kind of, the hero helps her to understand kind of what the true meaning of the holidays is. And also, it's a really fun, sweet story. So, yeah.
Juliette, what is the title of yours and what was one of your favorite moments?
So mine is A Puppy on the 34th Ward. And as the title kind of hints, it's loosely a retelling of Miracle on 34th Street.
Okay.
So my favorite part, so my hero, Nick, comes from a military family and they moved around a lot. So they were never super big on holiday traditions and things like that. And my heroine, Bryn, was jilted on her honeymoon and she's decided this year she's just not doing anything big. And of course, life makes things very different on that. But Nick decides that he really wants to get a Christmas tree. And so he and Bryn, she had a not good experience with a real tree when she was little. And so he goes and gets a fake tree for his place, but he goes a little bit over the top and he gets a very colorful tree, not a traditional like green tree or white tree.
Oh my gosh.
And it's incredibly gaudy and so over the top. And the two of them laugh quite a bit regarding how horrible and yet cute his tree actually looks.
Anne, what about you? What's your title and a favorite moment?
My book is entitled The Nurse's Holiday Swap. And as Juliette mentioned, Ilani is Hawaiian and she has swapped lives basically with a nurse from Boston. And she comes to Boston wanting to experience everything there can possibly be about a white Christmas. My hero, Javier, is, he's pansexual. He was married to a man and they adopted a little girl. That marriage broke up and he has just decided that it's time for him to break out of the funk that he has been in since his marriage dissolved. And she, of course, helps him do that. But I mean, it starts out with her thinking that he's gay because he was married to a man. So there's all of that discovery that needs to go on as well, And I think my favorite scene is the ice skating scene, and I won't say anything more about it. It's a fun, sort of sexy scene when the two of them are just trying to discover more about each other. And he's trying to help her to discover the joys of a cold Christmas rather than a warm Hawaiian Christmas.
Yeah. So will we see the book, like the characters from each of y'all's books? Like will their paths cross?
Yeah.
A lot?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Juliet's heroine and my heroine are actually rooming together because the nurse that went off to Hawaii is Juliet's heroine's roommate. So there's that interconnection. And my book being the first one, I tried not to, I mean, I introduced the characters in subtle ways, but I tried not to gunk up anybody else's story by putting them in too much in there.
But we did actually have to create a calendar in our group chat so that we could keep track of where everybody was at.
Yeah. So when were you all writing these books?
Oh gosh.
Oh gosh.
I'm assuming it wasn't like last year during the holidays.
No, I think mine was like
I think
February, maybe February or March.
Yeah, early this year.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think I want to say it was actually, I think I was writing mine not too long after New Year's, only because I seem to remember not wanting to put on Christmas music to get myself back in the.
Okay, that's what I was going to ask. So I was like, either y'all were writing them like in the summer and you like really had to like bust out the Christmas music to get yourselves in the mood. But then you said like January, and I'm like, well, by that time you're kind of out of the Christmas spirit. Yeah. So like, what was it like kind of either staying in that mind frame or like having to get yourself back into it?
I left my Christmas tree in my office up and listened to Christmas music because I love Christmas music for probably a couple extra months.
Yeah.
Okay.
I did the same. I left my Christmas tree up, but I will say, I think that being kind of over the holidays actually helped with my book since my heroine was not into the holidays.
Yeah.
It kind of helped me. So,
yeah, I didn't leave up a Christmas tree. I should have. That is a lovely idea. I will keep that in mind if I do this again. But I'm with Traci. I think because my heroine was a little bit bah humbug on the holidays, that it kind of helped that I wasn't writing it during like the height of the fun holiday season.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just channeled my Canadian experience because she was all about the white Christmas and making a snowman. And of course, I totally forbade her from even seeing snow before the end of the book, kind of thing. But yeah, I mean, I've kind of gotten used to that whole writing out of season thing, so it didn't really bother me that much.
Mm-hmm. But as so I feel like holiday romances are a big deal. I know for me personally, they are my favorite. As authors, does it feel like there's a little bit more pressure on your end? Because I feel like does it feel like readers come to holiday romance for something obviously specific? And does that feel like it puts a little bit more pressure on you?
Well, I mean, you have a pact with your readers, right? And I think that pact in romance goes across, whether you're writing a holiday romance or just a summer romance or whatever. So to be honest, no. I mean, I think, yes, for the holiday romances, you have to put in certain touchstones that will bring them back into the season. But for me personally, I just think you need the usual format. You need them to feel invested in the characters, and you need them to feel that romance can last past the holidays.
Yeah.
That's just me personally.
I don't know. For me,
I like everything Anne said.
Yeah, I agree. I think for me, the hardest thing for me is that I always try and do something fresh with my books. Like, I don't want to repeat the same thing over and over. And there's a lot of holiday romances out there. So I was kind of like, well, how can I make this a little bit different than everything else that's out there to give a kind of a fresh perspective on it? That was really the pressure that I felt versus, because it's still a romance. You still have to have, as Anne said, you still have to have all of those beats in there. That's what makes a romance. So yeah, for me, it was more making it fresh and different.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was lucky because one character is a Grinch and the other one is way over Christmas. You know, she wants to do everything Christmassy because she can get that as a kid. So that's part is me. My husband is more the Grinch. So it kind of works together.
You just pulled from real life.
So did you all pick the stories that you ended up writing?
No, they were assigned.
Nope.
They were assigned. Okay, because I was wondering like what about each story for you individually was like, okay, I want to do this one. Okay.
Well,
Okay.
and that's the interesting thing about continuities is because at least the ones I've been in, they are assigned. So you have to kind of, as the author, you have to go in and kind of find the things that you can connect with within the story to make it your own, if that makes sense.
So is it
And there-
easier? Go ahead.
I was going to say, and there were a couple of things. My story had a couple of parts that I won't get into because it would kind of give away part of the story. But the way the editors had structured it wouldn't function super well. So I, sent them an email and we kind of chatted about a couple of tweaks and things that I could do to make it more along something that was, that I thought would play better for the hero and the heroine. So there was a little bit of leeway, even though it was my assigned story.
Yeah, the same with me. I was able to talk to the editors about a couple of things and get them changed. But I've been really lucky with these editor-led continuities. I think because I've written older characters and I've written, because I did the female romance. I think I've been lucky in that they tend to kind of give me stuff that they feel that I can connect with anyway, or I'll be able to kind of work with. So,
well, yeah, and when I said that they assigned them, they do, but they do put thought into it. Like I think they try and pick stories that they think that author's voice that story will suit them well.
yeah.
And like even though it was assigned like mine, there were still things within the story that were up to me to decide. Like my heroine's particular neurodiversity. I had originally thought to make her bipolar because I grew up with a father who is bipolar. But then it was just, you only have 50,000 words and it was hard to kind of work that in that many words. So I ended up going with autism, but they leave enough leeway that you can make the story your own. And as Juliette said, they're always very amenable to the authors having input on that too. So it's not like, well, this is your story and you're stuck with it. And they give you a lot to work with there. Yeah. So
yeah, they give you a backstory and a good outline, and then you get to fill in the bits that make it come alive.
Yeah.
For you all as writers, what do you find special about being part of these continuities? Because as romance readers, we love series. And I just think I had never even heard of a continuity or like a series that wasn't written by the same author until I started reading Category. And there is just something really special about them. Like you're in the same world, but every book may be written by somebody totally different. And I think it's just a really fresh perspective on something comfortable. But for you all as the writers, like what do you feel is special about it?
It was a challenge, I felt. And I think sometimes your writing needs a challenge.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also, it's interesting to me personally to see the way different authors approach their work. So,
yeah,
when we're talking about stuff, Juliette has one way of coming at things, and then Traci and Deanne have other ways of coming at things and bringing up different aspects and different plot points. So it's always fun for me personally, because to be honest, it kind of takes some of the pressure off
Right.
of me when Juliet's like, okay, my characters are walking through the park and this happens, and I'm like, okay, can we do it this way so that my characters can do this with the same scene? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh wow. Yeah.
And this was my first one, so
How did it feel for you?
I just really enjoyed the experience. It was something, having been a category reader for a long time before I wrote any category romance, it was it was really exciting to get to be part of a Christmas continuity.
Yeah. Oh, I'm so
This is my,
excited,
let's
y'all.
see, third or fourth continuity, I think. So, and I really enjoyed this one. And I will say that the people involved make a big difference too. And I loved working with all these gals. So yeah, it was great.
Does it feel like, since this is your third, Traci, does it feel like every time you're like learning something different?
Yeah, I mean, each time it's a little bit different experience because you have different people, you have different personalities and different perspectives coming in. And each of the ones that I've done have been really different, even though this is the second Christmas continuity that I've done. The first one was Royal Christmas in Seattle. It came out, I don't know, 2 or 3 years ago, I think. But even with them both being holiday, they're very different kind of storylines. So, yeah, I mean, I enjoy the experience, and it's nice to have someone kind of give you an outline and say, okay, here are the bare bones of the story, and now you fill it in instead of having to come up with 100%
on your own.
That sounds terrible, but it's true. It's like, okay, well, I don't have to start from scratch with this whole thing. They're giving me at least something, to kind of spark it all. So, yeah.
I don't think it sounds bad at all. I mean, as much writing as y'all do, I'd be like, thank you for the break.
Being honest
Thank you for doing
exactly. Yeah.
Exactly.
For not making my brain work overtime on that. Thank you. I appreciate that. So yeah.
I think this is my second Christmas continuity, and I had to laugh to myself because there's a child in my story, and the first one that I did had a baby, and I'm like, I don't write kids and I don't write babies, and they keep giving me these, but at the same time it's good to be taken out of your comfort zone, you know what I mean?
Tell you something, Anne, they want you to write babies. No, I'm just kidding.
No babies. No capes.
No babies. Okay.
Anne is like, give me all the older characters. I'm not doing anybody under the age of like 30.
Yeah, exactly. Teenagers.
Unless the heroine is pregnant. I mean, because we did have a pregnant heroine in your last book, Anne.
Yeah.
Yes.
With 2 babies.
And then, of course, I give her twins, too.
You gave her twins.
So.
Double whammy, right?
Okay, so holiday faves. Let's kind of round this out with holiday faves. Whether it's let's talk like movies or TV, songs, whatever. Like when you think of this time of year that we're rolling into, like what's something you return to, just for at ease, for comfort, whatever. Juliette, you're at the top of my list, so we'll work our way down. We'll start with you.
Okay, so I'm not actually a huge Christmas movie person. My husband is, and he always starts the season with Christmas Vacation. And then on Christmas morning,
favorite.
no matter where we are at, he will always watch A Christmas Story. And so he and the girls do that. And so I get enjoyment out of seeing him get so excited for those Christmas movies. And we have he has a Christmas Vacation snow set, like he sets up on our Christmas mantle and stuff like that. So.
Shout out to husband. That's my favorite Christmas movie. Sorry, Juliette.
He loves it. It's just not, I didn't grow up really watching them. And so I think he has that like nostalgia from when he was little and everything. And it's kind of a connection with his parents who are both gone. And I get a lot of joy from just watching how happy they make him.
Yeah. Is there a season where you like, are you like during the Halloween, the month of Halloween, I guess?
I am.
Are you like a scary movie watcher?
Yes. Halloween Town. Does anyone remember that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm a huge,
Juliette.
I love the Sanderson sisters. So
okay.
From Hocus Pocus.
Yes.
What about you, Deanne? What during this time of year, whether it's Christmas, Thanksgiving, Halloween, whatever, like what's a comfort film or song or whatever that you turn to?
I love watching, this is crazy, but the old movies, the little clay ones with my grandkids.
Mm-hmm.
Home Alone, The Grinch, all of those, like with my grandkids, even though now I have 2 sets, but one set that's getting to be teenagers, and then there's a new set little coming on. But that's how because my character loved it, she had a calendar and she watched a different movie every night, Christmas movie. So I took my favorite Christmas movies and put them in the book while they're watching these movies. But I think I'm just a child at heart, and I love going back to my child days, Home Alone, all those, and just getting my grandkids together to watch them is always like the best thing of Christmas.
Yeah. Yeah. Traci, what about you?
Oh gosh. Well, I will say up front, I'm a huge wimp, so I do not watch horror movies at all.
No.
No, not at all. Christmas movies, I have a couple that I watch every year. I love Elf. I watch Elf every year. I love these are like super old ones. Holiday Inn with Bing Crosby and Fred Astaire. And those are because of my mom. My mom loved them. And so it's kind of tradition. The Bishop's Wife, the old one with Cary Grant and Loretta Young. Yeah, I watch those every year. And White Christmas. And then Auntie Mame. I don't know if you guys have ever watched that one.
I'll have to look for this one.
Love that movie. It's hilarious. And it's not really a holiday movie, but it's just actually the song. What is that song? Crap. Well, I can't remember now. But anyway, there's a really famous Christmas song that actually comes from that movie, even though it's not a Christmas movie. So anyway, just a little trivia. It's stupid. Yeah. So.
I'll Google it and I'll put it in show notes.
Yes, and it's the old one with Rosalind Russell. So yeah, it's really good.
Yeah, I did not realize how good the old
We Need a Little Christmas. That's the name of the song. It comes from that because it was actually a Broadway play before it was a movie. So the song comes from that Broadway play and then also from the movie. So yeah,
We Need a Little Christmas.
Yes,
Okay, I will leave a link to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did not realize how good some of those like classic holiday movies were. I watched Christmas in Connecticut, I think like 2 Christmases ago now,
really,
and I was like, this is hilarious.
Yes.
It was so good.
Right? They're really good. Yeah. So,
Anne, what about you?
Okay, so when I lived in Canada, every Christmas Eve they would show on TV "It's a Wonderful Life," and that's one of my favorites. Now they show it here at Thanksgiving, and I'm like, what is wrong with you people? But I try to watch that every year, and the one that Traci mentioned, Holiday Inn with Bing Crosby and Danny Kaye. Love that show.
Right.
Anytime I see it coming on, I'm there with my popcorn and my cup of tea or whatever, you know.
Yeah.
I didn't grow up watching a lot of the more modern ones, so I can take them or leave them. But I'm huge on the whole Christmas tree decorating thing. That's my spiel. I get sentimental over all the old ornaments and stuff. And there's a song, I'll Be Home for Christmas. And I mean, it just shows what kind of a big sap I am. But every time I hear that song, I'm like blubbering because my mom always said when she lived in England, she would hear that song and cry because she wanted to be back in Jamaica. And so I think of her and I think of my grandmother every time I hear it. So,
yep.
Yeah. Well, start with Juliette. Tell us, like, we have the continuity coming out. Are you working on anything else? Is anything else coming out from you? What's next after this?
Okay, so my first non-medical romance comes out. So I'm now writing also for the True Love line, which is the romance line here in the States. So
congratulations.
That comes out in January, and it's called How to Win a Prince. And then I have a duet for the medical line that's out in May with it's Dating His Irresistible Rival and Her Secret Baby Confession. So,
oh my goodness, Juliette, you have been a busy woman.
Yeah.
That's amazing. That's so exciting. Deanne, what about you? What's next after this?
I'm working on a midwife series. It's Music City Midwives out of Nashville.
Okay.
I'd like to go back to my labor and delivery days because I love my labor and delivery days when I was a labor and delivery nurse. And go back to the midwives. And I love Nashville. It's got some country music, a little reality show in there. I'm excited. It's 3 books set in Nashville, midwives, and it's going to be a lot of fun.
That sounds so fun. And do you know when it comes? Well, when it's kind of scheduled to come out?
I have not seen that yet.
Okay. Well, we'll keep an eye out on it. Traci, what about you?
Yeah, I just turned in book 2 in my Wickford General Hospital series. Book 1 just came out earlier this month. Those are small town romance books. They are set in a fictional town on Buzzards Bay in Massachusetts, about an hour outside of Boston, and those have been just so much fun to write. And so book 1, Single Dad's Unexpected Reunion, just came out the beginning of this month. And then book 2, An ER Nurse to Redeem Him, comes out in April, I believe. And there'll be 2 more books in that series. And then I have a new trilogy coming out under my pen name, which is Military Romantic Suspense. And my pen name is T.S. Ankney. So those 3 books are coming out. The first one is in October, the second is in December, and the third is in February on those. And then, and I will have an online short. They asked me to write an online short related to the book that I have in this continuity. They're doing like a 12 Days of Christmas thing on the Harlequin website. They do it every year, and each day is like a different author writes a short story related to a holiday book they have coming out. And so I just turned that into my editor, and I don't know when that'll be, but sometime probably in December. So yeah, that's what I got.
You've been busy too, Traci. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Anne, what about you?
I feel like a slug in comparison to these women.
You're not a slug.
No, not at all. You're wonderful.
Me too, Anne. I understand.
You just got it going on, girl.
I've taken a little bit of a hiatus. So my next book comes out, I think, April of next year. The Vet's Caribbean Fling, I believe, is what it's titled, and it goes back to my fictional Caribbean island, St. Eustace. And I'm just starting on a historical. I'm going back to my erotic romance roots, and I have a 4-part historical erotic romance series that I'm working on now that I hope to start putting out early next year. I want to have all of them finished so that I'm not stressing myself to the max, because I know how I am. When you do the pre-order thing, you have to kind of have your ducks in a row, you know what I mean? So, but yeah, that's about all I have going on. Everybody else is like, I have 20 books coming out next year. I'm like,
you're doing great, Anne. Your book comes out in April. It'll be here before we know it.
Yeah, you're perfect just the way you are, Anne.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you,
You too, Deanne.
Juliette, where can everybody keep up with you online?
So most of the time now I'm on Instagram, and then I have recently started up a YouTube channel.
Yes, you did.
Yeah. Yes. So if you search Juliette Hyland on that. I'm every once in a while I check in on Twitter or X or whatever it's called, but I'm rarely over there these days. So Instagram and YouTube are kind of the best places to catch me.
Yeah, I feel like the bookish community that was once upon a time on the Twitter has really just kind of been like, okay, we're done here.
Yep.
I don't know.
It got to be too much.
Yeah.
Of everything.
Yeah. Deanne, where can everyone keep up with you?
I'm sorry, I suck at this. It really is not Facebook is about it. I just don't, but with working full time and everything and writing, I don't do as much of that as I should. I'm hoping in a couple years when I retire, I'll have more time for that.
That's totally fine. That's fine. Do you have a newsletter or anything?
No.
Okay. Facebook is fine. Like, I feel like if anything, Facebook is it. So
yeah, it's a time thing, and I just don't have that much time.
That's fine. And so what do we type in on Facebook? Just type in author Deanne Anders?
Yeah, mainly, I do a little bit over there. I've done a lot of stuff that Harlequin's asked me to do. I did do their Sunday moments.
Yeah.
Where I'd read the first chapter of my last book that came out in July, June, somewhere around there. And little stuff like that is, like I said, I need to do better, but between work and then just finding time to write, I just don't have the time.
You're doing the best you can, Deanne. That's all that matters.
It's all the stress I can handle.
Traci, where can we keep up with you?
You can find all my socials and my newsletter sign up on my website, which is tracidouglasbooks.com. And yeah, I'll be the first to admit I suck at social media too as an author.
No, you don't.
Well, I post
You're
on my personal profiles, but I don't do a lot on my author thing. I tried TikTok for a while, and I was like super active on TikTok for a while, but it just takes so much time for me anyway. And so
same.
Yeah, so I kind of cut back there a little bit. Yeah, my newsletter is probably I am adamant that I'm sending it out once a month. And so I try not to, I don't spam anybody or anything like that. I send out once a month, usually on a Friday, because I am doing this Freebie Friday thing with a bunch of other authors. So there's usually a free book in there from somebody in my newsletter. And yeah, that's pretty much what I'm doing right now. So.
Okay. And Anne, where can we keep up with you?
You kind of can't. I'm worse than Deanne.
Kind of can't.
No, I mean, I just yes, that
you're doing the best that you can, Anne.
I'm doing
it's okay.
the best that I can.
Right?
You're doing the best,
which is basically nothing. No, I mean, frankly, for me, social media is all about cute cat and dog memes and funny stuff. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
I really that's about it. I don't do anything much. You could probably find some stuff on my website, but it desperately needs updating at this point. But yeah, that's about it.
Sometimes you all have to just life. You have to life.
Yeah, exactly. You know, it's author and McIntosh.com. So
for me, I spend so much time in my head because I'm a writer. I'm like, who would want to spend more time in here with me? Nobody.
Or you're exhausted. You're like,
I don't, I try and be good, especially if like somebody takes the time to like, posted something like a teaser or something, or make one for something. I'll try and repost that. But yeah, I mean, I don't have a lot of spoons for that right now, so I try and
actually, to be honest with you, for me, it's like Traci just said, I spend so much time in my head that when I'm out and about, there's some authors, they're amazing. They're going places and they're taking pictures and they're posting, and it's a lot of fun just following them. Yeah. I never remember to take pictures because I tend to live in the moment.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm there, I'm enjoying it, and then afterwards I'm like, wow, this could have been an interesting thing to post on my, but I forgot to take a picture.
Exactly.
So
yeah, exactly.
No, I love the honesty. I think that especially like with the rise of TikTok, I started seeing so many of you all as authors, like, everybody was on there. I'm on there. But I even for me, I reached a point where I was like, it's like a second, like a side hustle, like a second job to try to have a personality online.
Especially
and I was like,
when you're first starting out, because you have to do it like so regularly to catch the algorithm for anybody to see what you're doing. I mean, you're absolutely right, Brie. It is like a second job or third job or whatever. Yeah.
And when you've been doing something already all day, you're like, I just don't want to do this. And for you all as writers, it's like, you're already writing. Then who wants to think up content to post? You're like,
exactly.
I just want to watch TV.
Yeah.
And if you like with TikTok, people want to see you. You mean I have to now get up, take off my pajamas, put on a brassiere so that I can film something?
Yes.
No, it's not going to happen.
Well, and honestly, I am so boring. I'm like, who in their right mind would want to hear anything that I have to say or watch anything that I do? Because I am incredibly boring. So
you are anything but boring, Traci Douglas.
Yeah, you're not boring, Traci.
No idea.
Absolutely not, Traci.
No idea.
It very much is a full-time. I mean, there are people that are now doing it full-time that are content creators, and that it's just between having a full-time job, writing, and trying to be an active parent and spouse, the social media thing is just something that I let go, and that's okay.
Right.
It's okay.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I said to someone that years ago I was pumping out books and novellas, on a grand scale, but realistically, I was not living a happy life at the time, and so it was a great escape. Now I'm living a happy life, and I don't want to escape. I want to be present in that life. So it means that you really have to choose what it is that you're going to spend your time on. If it's not with your spouse and your friends and your family and your work, and social media just doesn't fall very high on the list for me.
Yep.